2:30 p.m. Caribbean Sea. Two Venezuelan fighters skim the waves, an F-16 on lead, a twin-engine jet trailing wide. On a U.S. Navy destroyer, the ocean is calm, the bridge is calmer. One quiet call. Two fast movers, low and closing. Now the decision point. Does the captain blink, or does American power speak a different language? Keep watching. What happens in the next 60 seconds shows exactly how the U.S. turns a loud flyby into a quiet advantage. Before we roll the timeline, tap like and subscribe, and tell me in the comments, warning shot or steady course. I'll feature the sharpest take in the next video, and wait till you hear the detail at the end that made Navy analysts smile. The jets skim the waves, afterburners flickering orange. To anyone with a camera, it looks like a dare. Blink first. But the destroyer doesn't blink. A calm voice goes out on open frequencies. Unidentified aircraft, you are approaching a United States warship operating in international waters. Maintain safe distance. No threats, no theatrics, just procedure. Why? Because the loudest thing in this picture isn't the jets. It's the data they're about to give away. Down in combat, the Aegis system is already busy. The ship's phased array radar is building perfect track files. Speed, altitude, bearing, acceleration. The electronic support suite is listening even harder. Every radar sweep, every radio click, every data link burst. If you think this scene is about who looks tougher on video, you're watching the wrong screen. The real show is on the consoles. So why not answer noise with noise? Because the U.S. Navy doesn't measure strength by decibels. It measures it by options. Layered defenses arm in silence, long-range interceptors in the vertical launch cells, medium-range missiles queued, the last line, phalanx, spun up and ready. None of it is for show. All of it buys time and control, and the quiet confidence comes from something those jets can't touch: the network. Over the horizon, a patrol aircraft is painting the same picture from above. Satellites and drones add their angles. Other ships are stitched into the same map. The destroyer isn't standing alone. It's standing in a web. Now watch the clock. At 27 seconds to the pass, something tiny happens that flips the balance. One of the jets shifts its radar mode. Search to track. It's a flicker on the EW display, the kind most people would miss. But that flicker is a fingerprint. Frequency, pulse shape, scan pattern, dwell time. The operators tag it. Saved, labeled. Next time that radar lights up anywhere in the region, the system will know who it is and how it behaves under stress. That's not intimidation. That's advantage. The lead jet slides past the bow, low enough to cast a shadow across the hatches. Impressive, sure. But low and fast comes with a trade. Massive heat plumes in humid Caribbean air. Infrared sensors grab it all. The engine's thermal signature, the afterburner profile, how quickly the exhaust cools. Add it to the library. Meanwhile, the radios back to shore are buzzing. Call signs, timing, how tight the comms discipline holds when the heart rate spikes. It's all captured. Not for a headline today, for a playbook tomorrow. You can almost hear the thought from the cockpit. We showed them. But that's the twist. Showmanship is the point on their side. Silence is the weapon on ours. The destroyer holds course. The crew stays on script. The layered shield hums, not to fire, but to watch. If a line is crossed, a real attack profile, a hostile lock, the response is instant and devastating. Until then, let the theater play. We'll take the recordings. Here's where American power really shows. A single warship looks like a dot on the horizon, but it carries a continent behind it. Vertical launch cells that can empty the sky. A radar that tracks hundreds of targets without breaking a sweat. Electronic warfare that turns enemy emissions into a roadmap. Link networks that tie ships, aircraft, and space-based eyes into one picture. And if a message needs to be sent, it doesn't take long for the message to arrive. Stealth fighters forward, patrol aircraft flooding the lanes, and, if required, a carrier strike group that turns distance into an illusion. That's not bluster. That's capacity. Back to the pass. The second Venezuelan jet rips by even lower. Deck cameras catch the roar. Inside combat, a different sound. Got it. As another clean capture drops into the archive. 2 Venezuelan aircraft, 2 sets of waveforms, 2 habits under pressure. For U.S. analysts, that's a matched pair of fingerprints, one from the lead F-16, the other from its twin-engine partner, filed for the next time this playbook comes out. Here's the twist most people miss. Up along Venezuela's north coast, ground controllers are talking, radars are spinning, and the net is busy. That's a show of presence for Caracas. For the U.S. Navy, it's a cross-section of Venezuelan emissions and comms discipline under stress, called timing, brevity, who speaks when. The flyby looks bold on video. On the scopes, it looks like a lab test we didn't have to schedule. So what happens next? Not what the flyby was hoping for. There's no scramble on deck, no wild turn, no warning shots into the blue. The destroyer logs the incident, ships the data package, and resumes the mission. Hours later, the message that matters moves up the chain. Any Venezuelan aircraft that endangers a U.S. warship will be dealt with, immediately. And it's not just words. Presence thickens across the Caribbean. Patrols stack up. The web tightens. If anyone wants to roll the dice again, the odds shift hard against them. Weeks later, far from the lenses, analysts replay the encounter frame by frame. They line up the Venezuelan radar fingerprints against known baselines. How fast did the lead shift modes? How tight did the radio net hold? When the formation got close, who painted first, and for how long? Tactics get tweaked, libraries updated, training sharpened. One loud minute at sea turns into months of quiet preparation. That's how America turns noise into knowledge, and knowledge into dominance. Why didn't the captain fire a warning shot? Because at 600 knots, a tracer can be misread. A calm radio call and a steady course deliver the same message with far less risk. Aren't modern jets more dangerous than a ship? Only if you pretend the ship is alone. It isn't. It's a node in a kill web that sees farther, reacts faster, and hits harder than any single aircraft can handle. In a contest between a Venezuelan stunt and an American system, the system wins. The real cliffhanger isn't whether a missile leaves a cell. It's whether the other side recognizes the trap before it's too late. Every close pass is a choice. Will you hand the U.S. Navy the exact Venezuelan signatures it needs to find you first next time, or keep your cards hidden? In this case, the cards hit the table, and the house took them. If you were standing on that bridge, what's your move? Hold the line and let the network work, or light a flare and risk a spiral. Drop your answer below. I want to hear your call. If you're into clear, no-drama breakdowns of how American sea power actually wins, hit like, subscribe, and share this with someone who still thinks volume equals victory. Because at sea, the rule is simple. Patience beats posturing. The United States doesn't need to shout to prove it. The next time Venezuelan engines spool up and radar beams sweep the horizon, our systems will already be listening, and when it matters, when restraint ends and defense begins, the response won't be a show, it'll be final. Stay tuned. Next episode, I'll break down the exact tell on the EW display that tipped analysts off to Venezuelan fire control, and why that tiny flicker puts our ships 2 steps ahead before the other side even knows we're in the game.